We go. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine with a look at your forecast here for this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January the 19th. This is Ben at 10, your local weather show for Southern Indiana, Metro Louisville, the Ohio Valley, and beyond. So we're going to look at all things weather, all things cold, maybe some winter storm potential that you've heard about this weekend. We'll take a look at some of the latest data with that as well. Still kind of interesting, very close call with that system, depending on the eventual track. There's been a lot of as usual, craziness on the social media that you can find about that storm. Nobody really knows. Over the next several days, we'll be fine tuning the eventual track of that. The GFS has it all south of us. The Euro has it more in Kentucky than Indiana. And then the truth might be somewhere in between. So we'll, again, talk more about that one coming up. Also, a little wintry mix potential on Wednesday. No significant impact from that one, as we'll finally go above freezing Wednesday. But frigid in the meantime for today. The wind chills are very, very low across the region. In fact, I can bring up the wind chill map right now and take a look at some of these wicked wind chills across the region. Of course, it's a lot worse to the north. They've got negative 20s wind chills in that gray area to the northwest. In Wisconsin, northern Illinois, minus 26 is what it feels like. So we've got winds blowing at around 15 to 30 miles per hour, which is making it feel extra cold. That air just biting through you if you're not really bundled up. These are current wind chills across the region. We have dropped to 11, what it feels like in Louisville right now. 9 in Du Bois County. It gets a little bit worse when you look to the north. Indianapolis with minus 11 and 12 below the wind chill. So it gets county by county north you go of Louisville. It gets worse and worse. And it feels like 20 below around Gary, Indiana. Fort Wayne at 17 below with the wind chills. But again, it could be worse. It could be in those minus 20s up there around Minnesota in the upper Midwest and the upper plains. So that's kind of the story here for today and tomorrow. Below freezing temperatures. And pretty rough out there. If you've stepped outside, you know all about it. It is very, very cold. If you're new to the program here, again, this is your weather show. We're powered by Starlink. There might be a little dropout. Usually comes right back on, so bear with that. We give you the forecast, current conditions right off the bat. We'll take a deeper dive of the forecast, weather jokes, weather history, weather countdown, all that interesting stuff. We got the big show loaded up for you here on a Monday, January 19th, and it is now 10:02. We'll be looking at that through about 10:20. We'll start to dig into the weather model data for us at around 10:20 or so. We'll do a forecast recap. We typically go about 45 minutes. So plenty to talk about on the show here this morning. Thanks for popping in. Also, if you want to drop in a comment, don't be shy, or just a good morning. Let us know where you're watching from. And then also any weather questions are welcome. So thanks for being here on the show. Welcome aboard. Let's take a look at the weather headlines for today. So we're looking at frigid through tomorrow, staying below freezing with single-digit and teen wind chills. Our low tonight around 9, and wind chill probably around 0 if you're out early tomorrow morning. And then we have a light rain snow mix for Wednesday. Really no big deal with that. Less than 1/10 of an inch of precipitation. We'll go above freezing, lower 40s, near normal for highs Wednesday. Where will the weekend winter storm go? That is the big question. If it continues to trend south, we may get nothing. If it takes like the Euro and Canadian path, we might see a pretty good snow in Kentucky. If it travels farther north, then we'll adjust the snow potential into Indiana as well. So right now, it'll be fun to watch and fun to watch the Wild West of social meteorologists, as we're often called. So this is a look at the key differences here with some of the latest maps. Again, these are the models update several times a day, depending on the weather model. And so on the right, you got the GFS, one of the latest runs there. It has almost nothing for us. And then the Euro on the left has significant accumulation over Kentucky. And there are other weather models out there that show differing amounts as well. These are the tried and trusted weather models that we've shown for years and years, and just something, again, we'll kind of keep an eye on here over the next several days. And we'll get to our countdown and all that other good stuff here in just a second. So let me go ahead and get rid of this. We'll say hi to all you guys here coming up. Again, look at some current conditions. We just showed you the wind chills, which are in Indiana down to minus 12 in Indianapolis, single digits in southern Indiana, and around 11 is what it feels like in Louisville right now. And here, let's bring up our extolmag.com/weather. We've got our live stream up right now. So thanks for liking or subscribing. Just a simple like helps the show go a long way. So we appreciate that. 25 degrees right now, feels like 14 with one of the latest updates. I mean, just depending on how much wind you have, that's going to lower your wind chill from time to time. Wind gust at 15, but could gust at times around 20 to 34 today, as we've had a dry front moving through the area, just giving a punch of polar air. I've got the brand new 7-day forecast loaded up. I've got the brand new weather story as well loaded up here on the page if you want to take a look at that. Any weather watches or warnings are always going to be posted here. So this is your weather source, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for our region. The big interactive map, this big gray map, has dozens of weather layers on it. I like to just kind of show you a sample of what's on it each morning. Upper right-hand corner is an orange button. If you click on that, you get your temperature, you get your wind gusts. I always like to take a look at the high-resolution visible satellite, which shows a lot of sunshine across the area here this morning. And we are going to have a lot of sunshine for our MLK Day today, but it is combating some polar air that is definitely in place. Live look outside here on a Monday, January 19th, and it is full force blue sky, polar blue out there as we look at the falls of the Ohio. And there you can see just, again, a frigid start, maybe a little ice along the shoreline there here over the next couple of days. My pond in the backyard is definitely getting ice covered. So it usually takes, 4 or 5 days in the below freezing to get anywhere close to being safe to stepping on, which is never encouraged. Bloomington campus, of course, it is MLK Day. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but it also is college football championship evening, 7:30. The IU Hoosiers, the Bisons, taking on the Miami Hurricanes. My daughter and I, Hannah, what was it, a year and a half ago, we toured the Miami University campus, beautiful campus down there, but we're hoping this campus right here takes them down later on this evening. So good luck to the Hoosiers out there. I think she's going to go to Assembly Hall, as they're going to all be watching it there on campus. So very cool stuff, very fun stuff. And let's get a look at our comments here before we really start rocking and rolling this morning. We have Beverly Hagest from Borden, Indiana, always the first to pop on, and a wave outside the weather window, 5,000 over the Borden Valley to you. We've got Grumpy Cat, by the way, this morning, which is what my cat is often like, my orange cat. He's the loudest cat I've ever owned. Do you really own a cat, or you just kind of live with a cat? The cat there's always a weird relationship with cats. All right, Orlean Whitlow, good morning, 27 degrees in Hodgenville. We've got sunshine, very good. Marydale in New Albany, Indiana. Just want to say how much we appreciate your forecast these crazy times. Oh, and good morning. Yeah, it is crazy. It's kind of fun to watch all the crazy maps on social media. I'm not there. There's other meteorologists on TV that like to fight back and all that stuff. Hey, just let it fly. Find a few trusted meteorologists and see what they say. Otherwise, enjoy all the maps that show 105 inches of snow. Okay, we got Brenda Collins. We got the good morning. It is very cold indeed. Lillian Lasley with 21 degrees, now 26 there. We've got Pamela Nolan here. Long time no see. Hey, thanks for tuning in here, Pamela. Melvin Harden with a Go IU from near the Salem area. We've got Sandra Sharon with Hoosiers. Kinder Boyd. Now, I'm kind of on the bandwagon. I've always liked our local teams. I went to Ball State. I worked around the Missouri Tigers when I worked in Jefferson City, Missouri. I worked around the Georgia Bulldogs and South Carolina Gamecocks when I worked down in Augusta, Georgia. But now my daughter goes to IU, so I'm on the bandwagon. Kendall Boyd, happy MLK Day and go Hoosiers. Yes, indeed. Alma Riley, give us some snow for Crawford County. We'll try this weekend. Again, it'll be fun to watch the weather models. And we got a good morning from Laura DeVore. Thanks for tuning in. Dennis Gregory from up there in Bedford, where it is super cold. It's even colder for you than it is for us here a little farther downstate. David Ammons with the 24 degrees from Hardinsburg. Good to see some new faces in here this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for those thermometer reports from your neck of the woods as well this morning. All right, before we dive in, I just want to give a shout out to our partners. And then, hey, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about here as winter is starting to kind of kick in here. We've got our friends at ivytech.edu. And tomorrow is Tuesdays at the Tech. They've got their spring sessions underway. And they've got a bunch of awesome programs there. You can go to the campuses here, head to Sellersburg. You can learn about their dozens of 2-year certifications. And again, Tuesdays at the Tech is where you can sign up for one-on-one information on how to get started, how to pay for college, how to register, career coaching, all that good stuff. They're going to make it very accessible for you. And right here in our backyard in Sellersburg is where it's at. Their campus at Highway 311 and I-65, exit 9 miles north of Louisville. And I'm hoping that will make it work, or we'll be live on campus later on this week, right before winter storm potential, perhaps. Also, hey, shout out to our partners here at Lyons Roofing, Lyons, right out of Memphis, Indiana, that they're protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime on both sides of the river. So you can give them a call if you have any issues, 812-294-3595. And I've heard, if you've had any damage over the last year, you've got like a year typically in a lot of insurance policies to make that claim. So again, if you've seen any issues on the rooftop, let them know. They can get you free quotes here at lionsroofingco.com. Speaking of insurance, here's my insurance agent, Michael Long at American Family Insurance, amfam.com. And just search Michael Long. You'll find his page right here where you can contact him. Let him know I sent you for a quote, 812-578-3072. He is proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience. We're hoping to get him live on the show for some helpful tips as well soon. Hey, in the new year, head over to libspaving.com. If you or someone you know needs an opportunity, wants to get a good paycheck, well, head over here. We've got job openings for you at libspaving.com. You can go to any one of these, hit learn more, and apply there online. So again, thank you to our partners there. Beautiful look out the window, but it is painfully cold. I have stepped outside to get some wood for the wood stove and to let the dogs in and out. And the cold wind is cutting right through us. So the temps are dropping down to the teens. So we're kind of going the opposite direction. Like I saw a high so far this morning at like 26, 27. We might actually be a little colder than that this afternoon as we've had a dry front move through the region. Okay, that's the current conditions. We're going to get to that forecast here. And we had just a little bit of a dropout there that will happen from time to time until hopefully we can get we're on pre-order for the fiber internet. We're going to make it to the year 2000 with our technology out here in the woods. Okay, here's your weather headlines for your January 19th, 2026. Hope you guys having a good cold morning. Frigid through tomorrow as we stay below freezing. Light wintry mix, rain, snow. Wednesday morning, Wednesday midday. Really no impact other than a little light precip coming down. Should be going above freezing in the low 40s Wednesday afternoon, so no biggie there. And then again, where will the weekend storm go? If it goes south, we may end up with nothing. If it tracks a little farther north, like on the left, that European weather model, we might get some decent snow, especially in Kentucky. Right now, Kentucky's been the bullseye with the Euro and the Canadian, and the GFS is no fun, not giving us much of anything. But we'll see how the trends go. We'll get an update with what we call the 12Z model run. That's 7 a.m. We use Zulu time and weather, UTC, Greenwich Mean Time. It's like Army time, but out of England is basically what that is. So we're 4 hours behind them. And so we will see what happens. Where are we 5 hours? We're 4 or 5 hours behind. We got Patricia Spriggs here with a good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Melvin Hardin wants 17.6 inches in Salem. Or is that 17.6 degrees? All right. Glenda Roberts with 23 degrees in Bedford. We do have Starlink, and it's pretty trusty, but every once in a while, I don't know if we get in between little satellites for a second, it'll drop out every now and again. Oh, Melbourne's got a wind chill of 3.2. Yeah, yikes. It is very cold out there. So that's kind of the comparison here of this weekend system. We'll talk more about that coming up. And our weather countdown 6 p.m. sunsets are just in 8 days. You may be noticing our days getting a little bit longer on both sides, sunrise and sunsets. Our average highs in the 50s in just about a month, February 20th, around that time. And time change in 48 days, March 8th. And then spring begins in about 2 months, 60 days. That's when we have our average highs in the 60s as well. A lot of weather history for today's date. 1862, the Great Flood of 1862 inundated much of the western United States, west of the Rockies. California hardest hit with 2 to 3 feet of rain falling in about 4 weeks' time. Kind of crazy there. The flooding was catastrophic. One modern researcher has called it the 30,000-year flood event. 1883, the steamers Cimbria and Sultan collided in the North Sea due to heavy fog. The collision resulted in 357 people dying. 19 hours of sleep. It's kind of crazy weather history. Former President Herbert Hoover was unable to fly into D.C. due to the weather and the ice, missing the ceremony. 1977, snowflakes were observed in Homestead and Miami Beach in extreme southern Florida. In 1994, Louisville sets an all-time record cold low temperature of 22 below zero after the big snowstorm. In 2012, the AFC 2001 divisional playoff game was played during a heavy snowstorm. The Oakland Raiders against the New England Patriots with less than, I feel like a play-by-play announcer here, with less than 2 minutes left to play. The Patriots are trailing 13-10. Tom Brady dropped back to pass, but dropped the ball after being hit by Oakland's Charles Woodson. The play was originally ruled a fumble, but that call was reversed upon review and was instead declared an incomplete forward pass. Brady lost the ball, and he was attempting to tuck it back. This is a lot here. What happened? We went to overtime. New England ended up winning 16-13 and eventually winning Super Bowl 36. All right, that was a long one. Sorry there. All right, your stupid weather jokes of the day. What do you call a moose with no name? Anonymous. What do you call a medieval spy? Surveillance. And I was going to tell you a joke about a girl who only eats plants, but you probably have never heard of her before. Herbivore. There you go. Your free jokes of the day. All right, for our MLK Day, Monday, January 19th. That's today, 27 degrees. And that's probably where we were, for our high an hour or two ago. We might even be a little colder this afternoon. Wind chills around 5 to 15, even colder in some spots right now. West wind at around 15 to 30. And Orleans does not want to see that European weather model, does not want the snow. We got a good morning here from John Fox from the Highview area. Laura DeVore, gotcha. I was thinking about switching from Spectrum. I don't know yet. I gotcha. It is. I don't know. You'd have to look at the prices and debate on that one. Beverly Haggis, loving the jokes. Lillian Lasley, loving the jokes. And Orlean Whitlow, loving the jokes. Thank you very much. And our low tonight down to 9. Just a deep freeze out there. Wind chill around 0 as we get going tomorrow morning, as a lot of kiddos are heading back to school. So they're going to need to really bundle up as we get started tomorrow. 22 at noon, 30 tomorrow for the afternoon high. So staying below freezing for another day. Our average high is 43. Average low is 27. We are in what is typically the coldest part of the year on average. Every 10 years, the National Weather Service looks back at the last 30 years and looks at the averages and normals and all that stuff. So right now through tomorrow is what is typically the coldest part of the year. And then average highs start to gradually go up day by day. And kind of on time, we've got some of the coldest weather on the way throughout the now and into this weekend as well. Okay, back at it. Here's your forecast again for tomorrow. 30 degrees, some sunshine. Wednesday provides a light rain snow mix. Not worried about any significant impacts other than some wet roads with that. And 43 for the high Wednesday afternoon. So right near normal. Thursday is pretty quiet. And again, will we see the snow or not? That's the big question here for Friday and Saturday. Again, we'll look at some of the model data and take a peek at some potential at least. And that would be Friday and a Saturday time frame for that. Either way, it looks like some polar air will be in place. We're looking at a high of around 30 Friday, down to 8 Friday night, 20 Saturday. And depending on the track, these temperatures might go up or down a little bit as well. And I would say a more south track will be on the colder side. If the system tracks north, will be a little bit on the warmer side. Now, some systems like Clipper systems this far out are very easy to forecast. They swing through at maybe 1 to 3 inches of snowfall, and they're easy. This one's more complicated because there's a temperature gradient. Temperatures are going to be varying very quickly from south to north. And then you also have this kind of elongated low pressure system that's kind of developing as it moves in, and it's not even sampled in the United States yet. So it's kind of coming in from the west off the Pacific. So it's just a more highly variable, dynamic, complicated system, and that's why the weather models are having a tough time right now. This happens every winter when we get a system that's kind of developing over us and taking that little southerly track there. So just a little more complicated for the models to figure out until we get a little bit closer. And typically we need the energy for this system, kind of like the dip in the jet stream, the low pressure system, to start to get to the West Coast. So we start to hit it with weather balloons, start to sample that system, and then we get better initial data into the weather models. And then we start to get a more accurate forecast. You will see the GFS, we'll see the Euro, we'll see the Canadian, we'll see the AI versions of these weather models all get better and closer together over the next several days. And we'll get a more confident forecast, I should say, over the next several days for this weekend. Excuse me. Okay, speaking of the weather models, let's bring it up. Here we've got good morning from Joe Banks. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, and Laura, our big warm up Wednesday at 43 degrees. That's about all we get, unfortunately. And here we go. Here's we'll bring up the weather maps here again for you this morning. So these are the wicked wind chills out there, which are continuing to drop. You know, wind chill here at 11 in Louisville, up around Bloomington, 4 below. Indianapolis around 11 below, and then you get the minus 20s off to the northwest. So again, that's our story for the next. The radar and satellite. Little dropout. Quick little dropout there. So the radar and satellite east of us and off to the west, and we've got a pretty clear sky. So let's move on from there and bring up the weather models. I'm just going to go to. I'm going to start off with the NAM weather model to look at Wednesday's little wintry mix, and then we'll talk about this weekend system. So let's go to the future radar. We're all dry today and tomorrow, so that's why we're going to jump ahead to Wednesday. And so Wednesday is the 21st. We'll go to the 21st morning. We'll just click on 7 a.m. So this is the precip moving in. And when we look at the precipitation type, we've got just a little bit of a mix. So I think we'll see some raindrops. We'll see maybe a few snowflakes mixing in. This is at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So not, again, a big deal as this moves through our area through about midday Wednesday, it looks like, and kind of tapering off through the afternoon. That is heading into the afternoon hours there Wednesday. So I think maybe like a few hundredths of an inch, less than a tenth of an inch of any precipitation there for Wednesday as that moves on through our area. And then now let me bring up the GFS weather model. Looks like we'll be dry Thursday. And then let's jump ahead to Friday, the 23rd, and see what the GFS has in store for us across the United States. Laura says, well, we could be in for Florida with that snow. It is, I mean, depending on the track, there could be some deep south snow with this system. So that is at 4 p.m. With that system developing off to our southwest on Friday. Let's go like Friday late. We'll go Friday 10 p.m. and see where this progresses. And then I'll bring up the European weather model for those of you that want snow. That's probably the model that you're going to want to root for. That's 10 p.m. Friday. And then let's go into Saturday morning, or we might be getting a little more active over our region, the 24th. Just going to tilt our map here a little bit. Okay, so that is your southern system with the GFS weather model bypassing our area. So if you want snow, this is a big boo right here and a big dud with the GFS weather model. No bots, no bring on the snow with the GFS. All right. So that's one scenario right there. And also with this, I do want to mention that we are talking about some really cold temperatures. So this is Saturday's wind chills. And when we have the gray, white color, those are all negative numbers. And look at these, wind chills even down south. So this is some Arctic air dropping in. So if we get this track with the GFS, big if, then cold is our story. If we get a more northern track with the GFS or the European weather model, then snow is a bigger story. So let me go ahead and get rid of this map right here. And I'm going to bring up my old trusty friend here, and you can actually play along here. When you go to church and they say, all right, turn to chapter or in your Bible, open up your Bibles to this. You can go here. This is weather.code.edu. And I'm going to the European weather model. And let's see the very latest here. I'm just going to go straight to the snowfall accumulation map. And we're going to take this forward in time and see if it's still tracking some snow our direction. All right, so it's pretty much the same as it was before. It doesn't have much in southern Indiana here. And then it has the most, obviously, over Kentucky and into Tennessee. And it's showing a foot of snow over parts of southeastern Kentucky and into Tennessee. And that is a big question mark as well. So that was the overnight model run of the European weather model. And then this was the 7 p.m. last night run. And there hasn't been much change there. So it is more of a northerly track, Ohio River south for snow potential, but not much for the Hoosier state with this model output. And then this is kind of a junk model run here with the Canadian weather model. And then there are various versions of the GFS and the European weather model. I mean, you can get deep into the weeds with this stuff. Another shout out, you can go to pivotalweather.com. They've got a lot of free weather models. There are many different sites that you can go check out for weather model data that is free, and you can have fun looking at it. They are not exclusive to anyone. You don't have to be a meteorologist to have some fun with some weather models. So anyway, that shows at least some potential. We'll see. Again, it'll be around 1 p.m. or so. We'll get the 12Z data, the 7 a.m. data. So they launched the balloons, the weather balloons across the United States at around 7 a.m. And then they take that data along with other data, radar, satellite, airplane data, and ingest that into the weather models. And it takes a little while for the models to chew on that data. So around midday today, we'll get the latest data, and we'll see if we have some more agreement in the models. But for now, we don't have good agreement right now. And it'll be fun to watch it. So that's that. Again, should we get super excited about this weekend? Probably not yet. But at least it's something something to watch. And either way, looks like a guaranteed cold pattern for this weekend, no doubt about that. All right. So it is 10:30 here on a very cold Monday. Here as we looking live with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. It is, I don't see a cloud in the sky out my weather window 5000 or the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. I'm sure it's pretty sunny in your backyard as well. Here's another live view at the IU Bloomington campus, where I don't see many kids walking around there this morning, but they're getting hyped for the big college football championship this evening. So my daughter gets to go to Assembly Hall, I think, tonight to check it out there on the big screen. We're going to try to find a spot to go check out the game and shiver on the way there. There's a look at some of the current conditions. And we're going to recap your forecast. Reminder, you can get all things weather all the time here at extolmag.com. We've got interactive maps that you can play with. You can plop on different layers, look at current conditions, your daily forecast here that takes us over the next 7 days. It's got some brutal temperatures on there. And look at your forecast hour by hour as well for our area. Got the brand new 7-day forecast loaded up and the weather story loaded up there as well. A reminder, too, if you ever have any weather questions, comments, concerns, anything for me, you can email me, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason at extolmag.com if you want to learn about some advertising and marketing solutions in the year 2026. We're looking forward to some new partners popping on this early this year and hearing from them. But again, that's a way to connect right there. Again, if it's just a weather question, you can also just email me that, Ben at extolmag.com. So our weather headlines here today for your January the 19th, a frigid MLK Day and a frigid day tomorrow as we stay below freezing. Wind chills in the single digits today. Light rain snow mix Wednesday. No big impact from that. And the third headline, where will the weekend storm go? If south, we may not get anything, which I just saw the comment from Laura saying, yay, I like a dud. We'll see about that. And Mary Dale says, I love that model. No snow. And Melvin saying the state of Indiana is on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. Yeah, there is sometimes we'll get a cold weather advisory. I think that cold weather advisory is for the bluegrass region of Kentucky tomorrow. Yeah, it is. So on this, let me get rid of this and add this. So in this blue area is a cold weather advisory for areas just to the east of Louisville tomorrow. But yeah, not bad to get a little 2-hour delay, let the kids sleep in a little bit. Not only for the Hoosiers winning the game tonight, we hope, but also just for the cold weather tomorrow morning. 2-hour delay might not be bad for that. And Orlean asking, how long will the cold spell last? We'll probably see temperatures moderate a bit as we head into next week. But as we head into February, we might get some decent shots of some cold. We're still early winter. But yeah, I've got us back to around 40 Monday. So our coldest is Friday through Sunday with this Arctic air in here. And we already looked at this. The right is, if you're a snow fan, not what you want to look at. You want to look at the Euro on the left for this weekend, especially on Saturday. So our countdown here, 6 p.m. sunsets in 8 days, average highs in the 50s in 32 days, time change in 48 days, and 60 days, 2 months until spring begins. We have average highs in the 60s. There's a lot of weather history today. That'll be on my page at noon, and it's also on extolmag.com/weather on the weather story. Our weather jokes today, what do you call a moose with no name and not a moose? What do you call a medieval spy? Surveillance. I was going to tell you a joke about a girl who only eats plants, but you probably have never heard of her before. If you have any weather jokes, you can email me, Ben at extolmag.com. Here's your forecast today, 27 degrees. And actually, we may be even a few degrees colder than that this afternoon. It'll feel colder either way with those west winds at around 15 to 30. I can see the winds blowing outside the window right now. The birds are active on the bird feeder as well. I just saw a purple finch peck away another finch. They're not being very nice out there. Okay, they need the calories at night. Did you know birds shiver to stay warm in this kind of cold weather? They puff up to try to insulate themselves, and then they just shiver all night long. That's a mean purple finch out there, pecking away a goldfinch and another purple finch. All right, 9 degrees our low for tonight. So yikes, yeah, deep freeze tonight. Wind chills around 0 as we get started tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, high of around 30 degrees, a dry day, and just a cold one. The winds won't be as strong, but even with just a southwest wind around 5 to 15, we'll have wind chills in the teens and 20s. And of course, colder in the morning. Orlean, you have a good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in, as always. We appreciate you. And here's that 7-day forecast. We've got tomorrow at 30 and then 43 Wednesday. Again, that light little wintry mix, rain, snow mix possible Wednesday. Should not be any significant impact from that. We're quiet Thursday. We're watching for the winter storm potential and the eventual track there Friday into Saturday. We may or we may not get snow. We're going to continue to fine-tune that. Either way, it does look like we'll get the cold. 30 Friday, down to 8 Friday night, 20 Saturday, down to 10 Saturday night, and 24 Sunday. Kind of a brutal stretch there. Temperatures before going back above freezing next Monday. So, yeah, that's what we're going to keep our eyes on here. And, again, it'll be fun to watch. Okay, before we take off, one more thank you to our partners on the show here. And we've got Ivy Tech Sellersburg Community College here. Tuesdays at the Techs tomorrow. That's where you can get one-on-one help with registering for classes. You can customize your visit here, get assistance with veterans benefits, career coaching, scholarships, financial aid, all there at your fingertips. You can go to ivytech.edu to learn more, or you can, again, register and get your one-on-one help there and schedule a visit and learn more. So they're in their spring sessions, and they've got dozens of academic programs for you, and they're going to meet you where you're at, no matter where you're at, high school, or maybe you're out of college. Maybe you need a career change. They're going to meet you where you're at. Lions Roofing will also meet you where you're at, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You get a free quote. You can call them 812-294-3595 if you have any issues with your gutters, your roofing. They've got your back here, anywhere around the metro Louisville area, southern Indiana, and into Kentucky. Easy for me to say. You go to lionsroofingco.com. That is LYONS Roofing. They're family owned right here out of southern Indiana. And they've actually helped out my family. And it worked out well. And you may need to work with your insurance company. If you want to see if you can get some discounts, some reductions in your rates, try it out here with American Family Insurance, specifically Michael Long. And this is my insurance agent, proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience. You can call him 812-578-3072. You can get all this contact information at amfam.com. Just search Michael Long, and he'd be happy to talk to you and see how you can help. There are many ways to save that I've learned. I'm using every way. I'm using the student discount. I'm using the app. I'm using the bundle with the life insurance added on to reduce my bill. So there are unique ways where you can reduce those bills. And every penny counts right now. All right, one last Go Hoosiers here with that live look from the IU Bloomington campus. So, again, go Bisons, 7:30, the college football championship versus the Miami Hurricanes. Hopefully take those Hurricanes down. It is not hurricane season. Not hurricane season. Laura, you are very welcome. Thanks for being a part of the show today. Mary Dale, thanks for popping in the comments this morning. Lillian Lasley, you have a warm and safe day as well. And the same wishes from Lillian Lasley. We are coming up to 1040 on a Monday on a Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hey, stay warm out there and go Hoosiers once more. We will talk tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to compare and contrast these weather models for the potential of this winter system this weekend. Will we get it? Will we won't? Will we not? we'll let you know tomorrow morning on the show. All right, that's it. That's been a Monday. Well, join us tomorrow or any day throughout the work week. It's been at 10 a.m. on our social media platforms. What are those? It is on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine. It is on Extol Weather, and it is on EXTOL Media on YouTube. Thanks for subscribing there, getting those numbers up there as well. And extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. There you go. We're going to leave it with Laura's comment right there. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.